recording now. What's up, bro?
Up, Kyle? How you doing, man?
Good. Long time no see, man.
No, dude. It's been a minute.
I know.
Been a
Just
minute, bro.
no, just when I was like, man, who is this freaking Suave, Edgar Suave over here, man?
You
I,
know?
I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm dead serious, dude. I was like, right when I looked, I was like, okay, is that Edgar?
No,
You look
bro.
good, bro.
Thank you, dude. I was telling you, man, like I don't see the difference. Like I do, but not a drastic change because when I'm like, okay, yeah, I lost 40 pounds.
Mhm.
Fuck, 40 pounds sounds like a lot, dude. But like I feel like it sounds more than the difference in how I look, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I feel a lot better. I feel 100 times better. But look wise, I don't know. Maybe because I see myself every day,
You,
but
you
I'm like, I don't know.
you're used to seeing yourself every day, but I'm sure when you're probably going to the grocery store or out for a jog, you maybe some heads are turning. You can
Maybe
tell.
that-
Yeah, yeah. But man, dude, you said 40 pounds, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, because last time we talked, I think I was at 30. That was, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. So yeah, dude, it's been one hell of a ride, man. I think it's like losing weight has been by far, dude, the biggest challenge for me. Like, because when I was in high school, I was super scrawny, right? And then after high school, I started, working more, just college, less sports and
Being
drinking,
on your
and
butt, drinking,
you know what I
eating
mean? And I
afterwards.
just gained hella weight, right? And then
Mhm.
I had so much trouble just, taking it off. And then I feel like with this whole quarantine thing, dude, that's like one of the good things that it's brought me, at least, right? Is like,
Blessing in disguise for you.
it's seriously, bro. It's just,
Yeah.
I was able to kind of use the time that, like, even the commute time, right? We're saving 2 hours, at least for me, 2 hours a day on the commute. So might as well use that towards me, dude.
So let me ask you this, because you said that it was very challenging for you for such a
Yeah.
long time. And I know, I mean, 40 pounds within what, 6 months?
Yeah. About
Okay,
so.
so 40 pounds in 6 months.
Yeah.
That's a big, that's a big drop.
Yeah.
My thing is that we all struggle with day-to-day lives and challenges. Like, what made you go on this journey and quest to, like, okay, I'm gonna really put my efforts into it, because that it was some work, some hard work that you had to put in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Um, Dude, honestly, I just got fed up, you know? I think it got to that point where like I wouldn't feel comfortable. I would sit down and I'm like, dude, I hate this feeling. Like, I would look at myself, I'm like, nah, like I gotta do something. And especially when quarantine started, like the first few weeks, is like less being outside and being active and you start gaining a few pounds. I'm like, nah, dude, I can't continue to do this. And I'm someone that I'm all for challenging myself and like setting goals, dude. And the way that it also, I guess one of the things that like enhanced it was I was already in this mindset of, okay, I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna do it for real this time, because plenty of years I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but then I don't do it, right? And then so I start by slow just walking for 3-4 miles a day, just being more active, and then start turning that into running, and then including high interval training in there, and just doing all kinds, and started seeing the change. And then my family, my mom was like, "Hey, we should do a bet for I forgot what month it was. It was like June or July, like to see who could drop more pounds for this month." I was like, "Shit, say no more! Like I'm all in," you know. So I think for that month I lost, I think it was like 15 pounds. It was
Wow.
just, but it was a drastic change for me at least, on the way that I eat
Mhm.
and the workouts, and just my activity in general. So after that month, I was like, all right, I could do this. Like, It's just a matter of discipline. You know what I mean?
That's, a great, you know, step from your goal setting. But we've all been there where we said we're going to do this, right? Just like how like I wanted to do this, podcast and channel and some of the other things, and then you're like, we're going to do this, but we procrastinate. And then I know you said you were fed up and you were just like, okay, I'm done, I need to. But with all of our all the many times where we wanted to try to get into something and then it just falls off or we just put it off, I mean, what was the driving point, like really, like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to stop? Because there's days and times where maybe you're not feeling at your best because of work,
Yeah.
because we're stuck at home, and a lot of negativity on TV news, and like, what continues to motivate you to push through this?
Uh, I think there's a lot of factors, dude. I think one, obviously, like the whole reason that we were in the quarantine, and like when you think about COVID, it's all health related,
Mhm.
right? So that was one thing where I kind of had to look at myself and say, okay, like from a health standpoint, am I where I want to be? No, right? So it had to do with health, had to do with the way that I looked, and just being able to finally conquer that goal that I've never been able to. Because I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, dude, I'm all about goal setting. I'm all about meeting goals and doing this and that when I truly haven't been able to do that. So for me, I set that challenge upon myself and said, all right, like all bullshit aside, like it's gonna happen, and yeah, dude, I mean, it was like no days off, and just no matter how I was, like to your point, no matter how I was feeling, if it was a down day, because we all have them, if it was like, oh, you know what, you can always find every little excuse to not do something, and you kind of like you play it off and you're like, oh, that's cool, like I'll do it tomorrow, it won't make a difference. But it's those little things that make a huge difference, dude. And when I switch that mindset of like, no, it's not a little thing, it's a big thing if I don't do it today, because I have to develop a habit, and I have to develop this routine, and I have to develop this discipline, and that's what it comes down to. And so for me it was like finally being able to beat that challenge and that goal that I haven't been able to for years. So it was more, I think that's what motivated me, is like, fuck, I gotta break it, I gotta do it.
That's great, bro, because as we get older, it's different, right? Because we have more responsibilities, and we have more commitments, and a lot of more things are pulled our way. But you being able to take on this challenge and doing this and continue to doing this, and you're a completely different person. I see that.
Yeah.
For the better, like.
Well, more energetic, dude, for sure. Even that. And I
Yeah.
think that was another thing. Like you start seeing changes
Mhm.
as you start doing it. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go back to like feeling
Heck no.
drained and tired and like, fuck that, dude. You know what I mean?
It's almost like a natural high, right? You're like,
Yeah.
man, I want that,
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
um what would you tell people that are about or planning on wanting to start that journey, especially during New Year's? A New Year's coming up, and it's a cold season. It's been pretty cold over here. I don't know about over there, but
Yeah.
it's like you don't really want to be that active, when it's cold. And not only that too, we all have our own, obstacles. Maybe it's just fear of getting into it, um, or just whatever reason that you said. Like, what kind of advice would you give someone that's planning to start their journey, or they're in the middle of it, and then they're finding some struggles.
Yeah. Um, I would say to your point, back to the question as to what you asked me about, why did you do it?
Mhm.
And always going back to that why.
Mhm.
And on the days that you're like, I don't want to get up, I don't want to do this, I'm tired, like I've already done so much today, but if you haven't done what you said you were going to do, that goal, you're not done for the day. You haven't accomplished it, right? And yeah, it's okay to take breaks here and there, but like at the end of the day, you got to keep that why in mind, and that why has to be bigger than you feeling down or you feeling tired and you feeling like you can't do it, right? Because if it is, then you remember your why you're doing it in the first place, you're gonna be like, all right, cool, like that's bigger than me feeling tired, so I could do it. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest thing for sure.
So that was greatly put, by the way, bro. And that reminded me of a quote that I heard recently in the past month or so from Jordan Peterson. He's a psychologist and like an intellectual. He does a lot of speech, and I think he was a college teacher as well too,
Mhm.
professor. But he mentioned a quote about Nietzsche. He's a maybe like a 19th century philosopher and a psychologist too. I think they I don't know if that terminology was brought up then, but then his quote was, "He who has a why can bear any how."
I love it.
He who has a why
I
can
love
bear
it, dude.
any how.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like, oh my God, he's Edgar is saying it. He's saying that, you know?
I love it, dude. I'm a sucker for quotes, dude. For motivational
There you
quotes,
go.
I'm all for it, bro.
Were,
So
were you
good
were
one.
you um were you in the office when I said that Pele quote? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm sure you know that one then.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So and then do you know it by heart? Because I know you're a big fan of Pele and soccer.
Not by heart, no,
Oh, you
no,
don't know it by heart?
not by heart.
Oh, come on.
Let's hear it.
So it's success. It's no accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice. Most of all, love what you do. So that was
Yeah,
Payless. So I love that one.
yeah.
So yeah.
One of the greats, dude, if not the
Yeah,
greatest.
probably, I mean, probably the greatest, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone has a bias, right? So, but
yeah.
yeah. So I know we talked about the soccer thing. I mean, did you play growing up too? Or, you said that.
I played all the way up until high school. Well, I think even a couple years after high school, I
Mhm.
was still playing on a traveling team. Um, I started playing like on an actual like on the men's league when I think I was 13 or 14. Bro, my first game was I got taken out bad. Let's just say that.
So that's where I was getting at. I'm sure if you get into it now,
Yeah,
just like, riding a bicycle, of course, the first few days or so, it's kind of getting muscle memory, right? But then
yeah, that's what it
you're
is.
in great shape right now. So
Yeah.
just don't be trying to play on Wii. The Nintendo Wii, okay?
None of
That's
that, dude.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, but nice. That's great. I want to have you share your experience with me. I know we spoke about it briefly in our last conversation about a month ago or so, but it was just more of a just high level, where this time I was able to get in more depth about your how, and then
Yeah.
in that journey and that why. So that's great. Yeah. And you were mentioning to me earlier about school, and the other day, when we spoke, you started going back to school.
Yeah, dude. I'm doing it's a fintech boot camp at Berkeley,
Hmm.
and it's a 6 month program. Um, and they go. I guess there's two different ways that you can kind of look at it. Is um, One is we're learning a lot of the different fintech domains, right? So like something that would apply to us, right? Lending, small business lending specifically, payments. We're learning, cybersecurity, cryptocurrency, all these different fintech domains, and just the disruption that is being made from the technology in these financial sectors. But we're also learning the second part is like the back end, right? And so we're learning coding, we're learning Python is the language we're doing. We're learning to collect data, analyze it,
Mhm.
manipulate it, and then at the end, the goal is to create some type of tool, based on these technical abilities or capabilities that we're learning to kind of solve a business problem or solve some type of business case, right? So an example is, let's say you're a fintech business consulting company, and I don't know, you're trying to work with the company and find ways to make their, I don't know, payments more efficient or something like that.
Mhm.
And we would create some type of tool that would give them the data that they need, in terms of, like a cash flow cycle. This is what you're looking at. This is how you can expedite that.
Mhm.
Things like that. So there's a lot of different tools and just skills that we're learning to be able to do that. But it's pretty cool, man.
So
Oh,
some tough.
yeah,
Yeah, tough.
yeah.
So that goes back to my question. Well, I mean, one of my questions why I wanted to get into that was what caught your interest in that? Like, why now, and why this?
Um, Dude, I don't know. I'm someone that is always like, I'm always striving to be better,
Hmm.
right? In a lot of different aspects of, I don't know, life, I guess. So one of the things is, like, if from a professional standpoint, right? The finance industry, the banking industry, all these different industries are not changing in a way, but they're being disrupted by a lot of different technology that's coming out. And I don't want to be the type of person that's pigeonholed into only one specific view of how things work, right? Especially when working with business owners and talking to them about how we can make their business more efficient, how we can increase cash flow, how we can do so many different things. If I'm not up to date on what's going on in the world, especially nowadays with COVID, and the way that COVID is accelerated just the digital, like, era, like all these different improvements, COVID has exposed a lot of that. So if, like, right now it's at the beginning stages, I think, which for me it's perfect time to learn it, and just kind of ride the wave there, and really not. I don't want to be left behind and
Yes.
just
Mhm.
stick to, like, the old way of doing things, because there's a lot more efficient and new ways that are coming about in all these different finance sectors.
It seems like self improvement. It's big for you, right? Because you said you
Yeah,
want to become better and better,
yeah,
and it that that's a great attribute that you have, and that okay, but you also have the humility, saying that, oh, it's extremely hard, very hard. And it seems like it's a with school and workouts, it's a different type of hard, right? With workout, I mean, it all goes back to you. But workout, it's physical. It's like, okay, I gotta make sure I stay on my diet. I gotta make sure I get up, rain or shine, hot or cold, I'm working out. Where this, it's like you have to use a lot of your mental.
right.
And how do you find that energy sometimes? Because if it's extremely difficult after work and after workout, and it's late, and you're saying it's very difficult, and I can only imagine how difficult you're saying it is, right? And I'm sure it is. You're probably, no, I'm not probably, you're more smarter than I am. I could tell you that. So
About all that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a Neanderthal. I'm just, yeah, 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 yeah. Just yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll just get. But then going back to, like, how do you find that mental strength?
Um, I think, well, one, the working out and staying
Mhm.
active and
That
keeping my
helps.
mind fresh in that regard, that helps out a lot, right? So to your point is, I'll work out like during my lunch.
Mhm.
But then after work, I gotta go out and do something
Hmm.
too
Hmm.
before I go into fintech. So it's been a shift of before I would work. I mean, dude, like all day if I wanted to,
Hmm.
right? And I've had to cut back on that and like, all right, dude, like 8 to 5, like work has my like I'm all in,
Hmm.
but after 5, like I gotta cut it. I gotta work, I gotta work out. I gotta do this, and then I gotta go into to fintech. Like
Hmm.
after this, like I'm gonna go and spend 2 3 hours on fintech and code and do all that kind of stuff. So it's like again going back to that why is like why am I doing this? Like I want to be in a better place, right? Like I'm not doing it just for fun. Like
Hmm.
yeah, it's interest. I find it interesting. I enjoy the topics that we talk about. I love learning new things every day. But at the end of the day, like I know that it's a sacrifice that I gotta make. It's long days every single day. Like there's not a day where I'm like, oh, I don't have shit to do today. Like it's I got shit to do every single day,
From,
you know?
from wake up to
Yeah, yeah. So
I was just gonna say that you're a soldier, bro. In 3 hours, I'm gonna be in bed already. So, but
I wish I could say the same, bro.
yeah, but one thing that I was gonna say was that, one thing that you said that it hit home with me was that you want to make sure that you're feeling your best, which is what I tell everyone about, not only with the fitness stuff, because that's a part, right? I tell everyone that, hey, you want to be at your optimal level. And
Right.
what are you gonna do to get at your optimal level? Okay, you need to get your sleep. You need to get your nutrition in. Make sure it's good quality meals. You need to get your rest. That's important too. And then you need to prioritize things too. You said from 8 to 5, you're all in from work. But bam, right after that, I'm gonna go get my workout in. Then I'm gonna go start on the next project. So being at optimal level is what I preach to everyone. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't, yeah. So do whatever it takes for everyone to, okay. So, and that's why it's important for me to always try to, be at my best, and I try to take the necessary steps, the fundamentals, the basics to, whatever to start your day. And then, you build off of it.
Right.
And then another thing that you mentioned was, which is one thing that I think as I got older, I learned more, where you said routine.
Hmm.
Of course, we all have things pulling, as I mentioned earlier, and some people, they have, you know, kids, so their days are not as maybe orderly as yours and mine's. That doesn't mean that, you and I were not busy, but I think it's important for people to try to do their best to have the day that they want, to
Yeah.
organize their day, to plan their day, right? Which is what you do.
Yeah.
Do you have a journal, or what do you do with
I,
that?
I have a calendar, dude. I
Okay.
have to, yeah.
Nice.
Just like I do at work,
Hmm.
especially when I started the fintech boot camp, I I have it there, like I have my work 8 to 5. I have my fintech hours, my workout hours. Yeah, dude, it's on the schedule.
Hmm.
So, but it helps, and believe it or not, that also like to your point about sleeping
Hmm.
and getting the rest. I actually sleep more now than I did before when I didn't
Better.
have a routine, and better, because before it was like, oh yeah, like I'll go to work, I'll get off whenever, you know,
Hmm.
um, and then I'll just see what happens. After that, no routine, go to sleep super late, wake up early, go to work, and it was just ongoing cycle. And I'd get to work, and I'm like, I'm ready to work, but I'm also hella tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now it's like, all right, I have this routine, I have this schedule that I'm following, and I still get more sleep than I did before.
And that's why I wanted you to elaborate on that, because a lot of people, they, they're, I mean, they're not as organized, so I think, like what you said, having a calendar, planning your day, what your priorities are, and stick to it, do your best to stick to it. Of
Yeah,
course, things are not always going to be as planned, but we could make an effort to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's some great insight, and that's great that you are starting on a new journey, right? How long have you been going to school, by the way, you said?
Uh, it's
Back
only been 3 months now.
3 months, yeah.
Yeah,
And I know you mentioned that you want to do something with it
yeah,
afterwards, and what are your plans after, like,
yeah.
once it's
Um,
done?
I mean, I guess short term is continue to apply it to what I do now, right?
Mhm,
And just have more conversations about um, the different things going on in the world, in the finance and
mhm.
banking and in tech, all these different things, right? Um, but also down the line, I mean, doing a podcast is one of the things that's on my to-do list, bro. So when you're like, hey, like you want to be on this podcast, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's see how I do.
It's
you know?
it's it's fun, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like how we talked the other day, time flew by.
yeah, yeah,
We are talking about our interests, life, what motivates us, what we find meaningful. So
yeah,
it's I think it's energizing
yeah,
for us, for men, right? Because at least speaking for myself, I don't have conversations with my guy friends or men that often. It's pretty brief. I mean, it's like a text here and there. Hey, how you doing, bud? You went to the gym or whatever like that.
yeah.
And
You
every now
got,
and then, once in a while, maybe you pick up the phone, or for whatever reason, you have a conversation, five,
mhm,
10 minutes or so.
yeah,
So as we get older and more mature and have a better understanding about ourselves, we I think that it's important and it's healthy for us to have these conversations, have these discussions, to not only learn about ourselves but to exchange ideas from each other.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. That's definitely one of the things that, I obviously right now, like if I'm gonna do it, I want to go all in, and I don't have time to, to fit into my schedule. But once this is over, that's one of the things that I'm gonna work
That's
on.
a goal. Okay.
Is a podcast. I still have to, I guess, refine a little bit more in terms of topics.
Mhm.
What it's gonna be about. I don't know anything about like, just even get started in terms of setup and equipment to buy, all those different things. So that's something I got to look into.
What we have right now, if you're doing a virtual one, that's it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It depends on like your background, however you want to project your background. But then what
right.
this is it. It's really up to you, right? And then
Yeah,
of course if you want to have in person, then that's a little different, which
right.
is what I had a setup to do. But then these are not the time to. And
Yeah, yeah,
it's so we I'll move that down the list, maybe next year or whenever.
yeah,
But going back to where you talked about your plans, and you know for this for after school, but your schedule is so jam packed now. Do you have any like time for like fun hanging out right now, or is it just you know
dude.
you're just focused?
Right now, I'm locked in, dude. Locked in, and just
Nice, nice.
trying to get this, at least for the next 6 months. Once the fintech boot camp is over, and I have a little bit more free time, then hopefully, we're able to go out and, have a drink here and there and just socialize more. But I'm like, that was another thing too. I'm like, you know what? If there's ever a good 6 to 9 months to be just locked in and at home and focused,
Focus
it's
on
now
yourself.
we can't go out
Yeah.
anyway. So
Mhm.
it's
Yep.
like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Which I think that also helps is staying
Yeah.
focused.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no. That's what I was gonna say. Like I was going to say that, there's people that, of course, it's a little bit harder for them in times like this where, they need to be out, they need to be socializing. And, some of us, we can manage a little bit better where, we're like, home and not doing much. But then I think that what you said was, just being busy. and pursuing the things that you value
Yeah.
to improve yourself. Because if you're locked down, which is what, we're told not to go anywhere, but you're still focused on improving yourself and improving, your situation, constantly having a routine, constantly being busy, and I think you will be more fine mentally and physically, right? You have your
Yeah.
workout, you have, you're studying, the things that you want to do and achieve. Because I get it. I mean, like, there's so much things on TV now, Netflix, the internet. It can bring you to a rabbit hole where you're watching one thing and then you click on the next thing.
Right.
Where, video games too. Where, I mean, there's a time and a place. I watch TV myself. I go on YouTube and listen and watch things myself too. But if we don't, prior, hey, Brody, he's right behind you. He wants
Really?
to join too.
I know, dude. He wants to be on
Hey,
the
Brody.
podcast.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Bro,
Dude,
I
it's
love
crazy when
animals.
you hear someone outside, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I love animals. What kind of dog is he?
He's a golden doodle.
Golden doodle? Okay.
Yeah, I got a golden doodle here, and then a German Shepherd back home in Los Baños.
Nice, nice. What's
Yeah,
your German Shepherd's name?
Kobe.
Kobe?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Nice, nice. Yeah. How old is yeah, yeah, yeah. How old is Brody?
Brody's 5 months, dude.
Oh, so he's young. He's a
Yeah,
big girl big.
yeah.
Wow.
Quarantine. What they call them? Quarantine puppies.
Nice. Yeah. Well, he doesn't like something right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. He hears
yeah.
somebody outside.
Understood. No, but just going back to where, I think I mentioned about, finding, I guess you can say, more peace at times like this. Like what,
Yeah,
it seems like what helped you was, having this routine and having this energy to stay focused. And that's why, if I were to tell someone right now, like, hey, they're having a hard time. I think I spoke to one of our guys the other day, and he's like, it's hard, I mean, trying to get through, these next few weeks and stuff. He's been locked down for so long. And I've heard that from some of my friends and family members too. Like, they can't take it anymore.
yeah,
And what I say is that, you need to focus on improving yourself and keeping yourself active and busy.
yeah.
And that, I think you learn more about yourself that way too, and what you want, right? Instead of,
Right.
like, I mean, I know someone where, they're just watching a lot of TV, and I don't see that being too helpful if you're going to be watching a lot of TV, where most of the time you're watching, the same thing over and over, or you're just flipping through channels and channels and channels.
Right.
Like, if you have something to try to keep your mind and focus on that you're interested in, and that's going to, keep you busy, then, that's much more valuable for someone. So
Yeah, everybody has different things, man, that keeps them going, especially during these times.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But, you know, we want to choose the right things to keep us going. That's
And
how
choose
we keep
wisely.
our mental, yeah, choose wisely. So we keep our mental and physical health. But yeah, so, but when is your school in?
It's in, I think it's the beginning of June.
Okay, so a whole year. It's like a whole year
And
course.
yeah, it's right in summertime.
Perfect timing.
Hopefully we're free at that point, dude. But I don't know. It's not looking like it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we, you probably see what's going on in the news and on the internet on what they talk about. But I feel like, that's something that you and I can't control.
Yep.
Especially what happened with, like, these past, few months, where, supposedly a lot of the cases has rose. And I mean, and then you see other countries where they've done a better job and stuff like that. But I can't control what others do. I can only control what I do. And
Yep.
health is important. Physical health helps you, become stronger, and not only stronger physically but mentally too, right? So
Yep.
Yeah. But I was thinking, I was like, what do you find in times like this, and it's easy to, okay, forget about everyone, you know, I'm focused on myself, and I'm doing my own thing. But do you have, thoughts and, on wanting to like say, okay, what can you do to, perhaps, help others in times like this? Or, like if they're such as family and friends, where they're having some difficulties in situation like this? Or like, I mean, do you like have conversations with, friends and family? Like, do you because very seldom where, I mean, I have a group chat and group text here with our some of my family members, but then we'll go a week without talking sometimes,
Right.
and I want to say something to them, but sometimes it's like, okay, I don't want to say this again, or I don't want to, I get busy and I forget, and I'm like, oh, it's late, I'm gonna do it tomorrow and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
to something that, to like kind of like push you or to push them, just to keep a conversation going. Do you have anything like that right now?
I mean, I still go to Los Baños, my parents' house,
Mhm.
every weekend pretty much.
Where's that at?
Los Baños, Central Valley,
Okay.
it's about an hour and a half from Walnut Creek.
Oh, okay.
Um, so, I mean, from that standpoint, like, yeah, you wanna keep your family close, right?
Mhm.
And your loved ones close, and connect with friends and make sure everything's going good, because shit, you just don't know what other people are going through, whether it's health, or just everything in general. Like, so that's important, dude.
Yeah.
That's key to not only work on yourself, but the people around you, the people that are supporting you, during these times. Because if something happens, and you don't have those people around, then it's like it makes it tougher on you to remember that why, and remember why you're doing certain things. So you got to keep that, first and foremost, for sure.
Sometimes, I know this, that, and we don't go around thinking about, okay, you know what, like if something's going to happen as tomorrow, something's going to happen to someone.
Right.
But at times where, when we have a lost, or someone's not doing well, we it kind of, you know realize, what's most important, and
Yeah. Yeah.
for ourselves, and for and our family too, so that's great that, you're still in touch with your family and you're going there every weekend.
And you stop worrying about the little shit that doesn't matter, you
All
know?
the little petty shit that we
Yeah.
concerns ourselves with, so
Yep.
yeah.
Exactly, dude.
Mhm.
That's huge. We stress. Sometimes I feel like we stress over things that don't really matter.
So like, man, I ordered the new iPhone 12, but it's taking 2 weeks to come, or 3 weeks to come, because it's in back
Yeah,
order.
right?
I want it tomorrow.
First world problems, bro. Look at this
I
guy.
upgraded from the iPhone 11.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, family is very important for me too. And you mentioned that, you go see them every weekend, and making sure everyone's okay. And I feel like we and it goes hand in hand, right? When anyone that you have in your life that's close, you are a influence on them. Your energy,
Yeah,
you know, if you're not doing well, you're not going to contribute to having your family do well.
right.
Whether if that's emotionally or physically, to yourself or to them, so I always say that you have to be at your best.
Yeah,
You have to be better before you can give your best to any other.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If you're not happy with yourself, it's hard to show love and to others, you know what I mean? And give back. So that's also a big thing as to why I feel like I've been focusing on myself a lot too. It's not a matter of selfishness. It's more like I got to be good with me first before, I give back to anybody else, right?
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
think of it this way, right? I mean, that's humility because before you can start fixing others and fixing the world, you have to fix yourself. You have
Yeah.
to do your best. And it's not going to go through time, right? We all are a constant, trying to improve ourselves in all ways, right? As a person. But, you touched up on it. It's you have to be at your best before you can be at your most honest to
Right.
others. And I feel like that's something that I've learned more throughout the years as as an adult, as I got older as an adult, where it's you have to be enable be able to be allow yourself to be vulnerable, to go there,
Right.
and because then you're really giving your true self to others.
I mean, this is a perfect example of you doing this right here, dude. The podcast and just letting the people know what you're about, and the mind of cow. So that's a huge
It's
step right there, bro.
it, me and Dave Tessier. You know who Dave Tessier is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's our partner. So I had a conversation with him yesterday and last week, and that guy is super smart, super driven, and I got so much knowledge and insight for him in just a couple conversations that we had. I'm
Yeah.
like, he blew my mind, and we talked about self discovery,
Mm.
and which is what we it's a constant thing, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
know that I'm gonna be different, maybe 10, 15 years from now, as far as mindset, where how I'm 10 and how I'm different, when my younger self, where my mindset was different, right? But we talked about self-discovery, and I learned more and more about what I want in life in recent years, and I've been able to have more courage
Yeah.
to express myself, and that developed over time, where you know it started with working out, and when I was in my teens, it was about hey, showing off to the girls, showing off to the guys, whatever,
Yeah.
meaning, yeah, yeah. But now it's completely different, right? Now it's like, hey, you know what, that's something that's important for me, but it's more important for my mental health,
Hmm.
and of
Yeah.
course physical health too. But and the other things, of course, you want to be in shape, but then those things come second or even third.
Right.
So like he said so many things that resonated with me, just like how a lot of things that you said that resonated with me. And it's I commend you and I admire you to continue to pursue these things, because these things are going to help you build that character, to help you build
Yeah.
that courage to do these things, to continue to push and express yourself, where you said you wanted to do a podcast too.
Right. Yeah, dude. Um, I was actually curious to ask you what your goal is, or what the expected outcome is, the podcast itself, and like where you headed.
So, and I'll be completely honest with you, I watch a lot of Joe Rogan.
Hmm.
I love how he has many different guests on
Yeah.
from all sorts of the world, and different worldview and different ideologies, different interests, different fields of professions. That one, his show is one of the shows that interests me the most.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, how do I, you, you know, I guess I have an appetite for curiosity, right? And I have an appetite for conversation, light-minded, constructive conversations like we have, whether if it's just free flowing, or something that it's a little bit deeper, which is what my vision is,
Yeah.
where I want to have conversations with people such as yourself, Edgar, and Dave. I'm gonna have a conversation with Danny, just ongoing conversations. And how do we help each other improve? how do we help each other exchange thoughts, exchange ideas? And Dave, I guess one of his favorite quotes that he mentioned to me a couple of times was a Jim Rome quote where he says, "You surround yourself. You're the average of the five people that you surround yourself with."
Mm,
And that's a random number, right? It's not something where like, okay, it has to be five.
right.
Yeah. But
Inner circle, basically.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So the more people that I converse with, the more the more things that I learn about not only them but about myself too, about
Hmm.
how the world view, how and how I perceive things. Because it's easy for us to look into our eyes and see certain things, right? But we're just one person. There's 7.8 billion people out there.
Yeah.
Everyone has great thoughts, great ideas, and everyone, you can learn things from everyone. You can
Yeah.
experience things from everyone, just like, our conversation right now. I feel like there's so much honesty, and I think that throughout times, especially with, growing up where we're always trying to, impress others, we're here, like we can kind of be ourselves
Right.
and be more authentic. And I think that I have an appetite for that too, authenticity, where,
Yeah.
I can see that in you, and I feel like I can be myself more.
Yeah.
And that's one of my mantras and my goals, and my channel, one of my channels name, where, you know, have the is live true. And that's short for have the courage to live true to my heart,
That's
to live true
dope.
to myself.
Yeah.
So for the podcast, that's my direction. Just have conversations. Not, it doesn't have to be specific topics, but then just have the conversation where it's just we're
Keep
learning
going.
things, exchanging
Yeah.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. I think that's also why Joe Rogan has such success, dude, because he's able to pull in huge audience with different perspectives, different topics that he talks about. Um, so
So
I like it.
that's actually the name of this podcast, Perspectives.
Is it? I
Yeah.
love it. All right. I was gonna ask you too. What's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
name?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
how
So
far
it's
are you?
it's it's Perspectives, and you're number two, by the way, buddy.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right.
Second the best.
All right.
But I
I'm
know, now that you mention it, I know you touched up on it earlier, and you said that you're not all the way there yet about, like what how your channel, the themes or something like that. Like, are you? But I'm sure you thought about it, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Is there
And
something?
it's a lot of what you just said too,
Mhm,
because I listen to podcasts all the time,
mhm,
right? And whether it's business, whether it's finance, sports,
mhm,
um, you know, music, like all these different things. Um, and I'm Joe Rogan too. Always just trying to find different ways of thinking, and like I mentioned earlier, that's one of the reasons why I started the boot camp is because I don't want to be pigeonholed into one way of seeing things, and I
yes.
want to get a different way of viewing things, right? So for me, it would be a matter of a lot of these different things too, just keeping it real, just
Mhm,
having a conversation um, about interest, things like that, but also having um, a business,
mhm,
aspect to it, and discussing a lot of those different things, whether it's with like aspiring entrepreneurs or people that are already in it and talking business strategies, things like that. um, so I think that's another thing that the fintech bootcamp is going to help with is finding different ways and to go about all those things, right? So
And I mentioned this earlier, but it's fun.
yeah,
Us having a conversation. If I wasn't having this conversation with you right now, I'll probably be sitting on the couch, either listening or watching something from YouTube or TV.
yeah,
And to me, there's a time and a place for that, right? Like I said, I love, the gadgets and the technology that we have now. But this conversation that we had and we're having right now, it's a lot more valuable to me.
Right.
I feel I'm actually talking to an actual person.
Yeah.
I'm connecting with you, you know.
Yeah.
Where there, I'm just, like I'll probably listen to something and I'll like, man, that looks more interesting. Let me click on that one. And
Yeah.
then I don't even get
You're on the
past.
sideline. You're watching. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's yeah, but what do you like? I mean, when you do have time, what do you like watching? Like or you just listen to podcasts or what do you do?
Yeah. I mean, recently it's been podcast. Like when I'm working out, it's either music or listen to podcasts. Um, but if on TV, dude, it's really just sports that I watch. If it's like a show, whatever's good on Netflix at the time, but or like shows like Shark Tank, The Profit, really good. What's the other one? The Deed, I think it's called. It's about real estate investing. So I don't know, a lot of different either business or sports. It's the main theme, dude.
I'm so I told you that I love animals and stuff. I would say one of my favorite channels or channels when if something comes on is it's like the BBC channel, the National Geographic channel,
Yeah,
Discovery and Animal Planet. They don't play too much of the certain of what I want to watch anymore. Where they play like like reality shows and things like that. But I actually want to watch like animals out in the wilderness. You know what I mean?
yeah.
or things like that. And they play a lot of things about science and astronomy, which is something that I'm really interested too. So those are like if I were to turn on TV and if it's on, I will watch. It would be that list. I watch something about astronomy and then animals and then so on. A couple TV shows here and there. But then
I remember we had a meeting one time, and then you just came out with these like crazy ass
yeah,
facts about all these different
yeah,
animals.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I was like, what?
So I
You know
remember
all this?
that. So we were having it was in our meeting. Layla just came back from
Uh, that's
Africa.
right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
I
Yeah.
don't remember what country, but she said that she was at the Sahara. No, not the Sahara. One of the one of the I guess parks out there where you can see, animals and stuff close up front. So she was just saying, like saying these things, but then she kind of forgot what the name was called, and I said it out for her, and then I think so. I said three things, and then everybody's like, "Whoa, what the heck?"
Like, whoa, dude.
No, 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 no. So yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, I know, I mean, most people, if they see, let's just say, we kind of are perceived by our social media or how we look,
Right.
with our first presentation. So I know I have a lot of my, bodybuilding stuff in there, and but then I would say I'm more of that guy in my inner life,
And then the bodybuilding guy?
than more of the bodybuilding
Really?
guy. So
That's news to me,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's the bodybuilding thing is just something that I got into.
Just a side hustle.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. No, don't get me wrong. Like you, when I'm focused on that, I'm focused on that
Right,
100%.
right.
It's not something where like I'm like leaving, but that's something where I got into when I started working out and I wanted to I was like, hey, this is not enough. I want to see how much I can push myself,
Yeah.
what I can do with this, and then of course, and I know you're a competitive guy, you mentioned that before, and you have a competitive nature where you want to see where you stand amongst, the others, and of course with a competitive mindset, I mean, you go there as a winner, right? So
Yeah.
that's how the mindset is, right? But then, yeah, so it's the bodybuilding thing is it's I've learned so much, and it's great that great experience, and I would I'm not saying that I would not do it again, like I wouldn't do shows again, I mean I still work out like you every day, and but if you were to ask me who you truly are, peel it off and be like, Cal, he's that kid and with a huge imagination and curiosity, wanting to go look at the turkeys outside, look at squirrels climbing trees.
I would have never guessed it, bro.
I I haven't did it in a long time. Just you lose touch of yourself, but I love camping. I used
Yeah,
to love, yeah, that was, I would rather do that than probably go to, a hotel or something to,
right.
visit. Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's something that, I would rather be outdoor and playing in the
Nature.
river, you
Mhm.
know, fishing. Yeah. So it's just, we lose touch of that as we get older, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's
I'm
for
a
sure.
loser too. I watch it now.
You're what?
I watch it. I
Yeah.
watch people fish and camp.
You're spectating now, man. You gotta get in the game.
How terrible is that, man? Are you someone that you like, like, do you like the outdoor or you like nature?
Not like you, dude.
Okay.
I mean, I do enjoy it. I think it makes you feel, I don't know, free, dude.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
being
yeah.
out there and just
Oh my God.
not having to deal with any, cell phones or anything like that, and just enjoying fucking nature and relaxing. But I just don't do it enough. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
because we're busy, right? But then,
yeah,
like what you said, you get in touch with your true self. Like
yeah,
you kind of like, okay, let me, if the phone and our job and if it's away, then we're just chilling, and then
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But no, I know. We have some things to go on, and I just wanted to say, you said that you love quotes. What's a quote that you would want to share with us or share with me?
Uh, there's a lot, dude.
Just
I think one of my favorite ones is the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately.
dream is free, the hustle. Ooh, that's deep. I
Yeah,
had that. Oh man, I love that,
you
dude.
know what I mean? We
Yeah.
all we all have dreams, we all have aspirations, but it's only if you're not working your ass off and hustling and getting it done, it's not gonna happen. So that's
So
that's
say it one more time for me.
the dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately.
The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. There you
Yeah.
go, guys. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, bro.
for
I wanted to say thank you for your time.
sure,
Great
bro.
job at everything. You look good. I mean, Edgar Suave over here. I'm gonna call you that from now on. Okay. So
That's the
watch
new
out.
name. I like it.
Watch out, ladies. But good job on that, bro. I'm so proud of you. I'm sure you're
Thank you,
proud of
man.
yourself, and I'm happy for you too. So
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
I
it, man.
and of course I want to keep this conversation going. I had great conversation with you last
Yeah.
time, and go hustle and bustle, bro.
Yeah, dude. We gotta do what we gotta do, man.
Yeah. Okay,
Good
Edgar. Have a
talking to
good
you,
night,
brother.
bro. Thank you.
All right, man.
Yeah, you
Good night,
too.
bro. Take care, man.
Take care. Wow. The things you can achieve if you truly want it. He lost over 40 pounds in 6 months. But even greater is that he said he feels so much better and so much more energy. Just imagine what tomorrow will bring. Whatever it is for you, go start your journey and live true to your heart.